So I think the Suns can definitely win Game 6, even though I don't think they will be favored, nor should they be, given how the Bucks have played better in the last 3 games, I would say. But yeah, I think there's definitely a path for the Suns to win Game 6, and I don't think this series is over. I think a lot of things have to go right, or maybe just most things have to go right. Like, they don't need all of the things that I'm about to mention to happen, but they definitely need some of them. And let's start with what I think is really important, which is on defense, because they have played well offensively, especially in Game 5, even in their 3 losses. But defensively, I mean, they're giving up way too many points. It's not too hard. And I think Ayton is probably their most important defensive player, certainly in terms of stopping Giannis. So I think Ayton has to have a good game, and I think he has to stay out of foul trouble, because when Ayton's not on the floor, it's really, really tough for the Suns, especially with Saric out. They just don't. It just doesn't really work. Whether it's just not having enough size or playing Frank Kaminsky, it just doesn't work for the Suns. So Ayton staying out of foul trouble is absolutely massive for them, and also the Suns surviving the minutes without Ayton. I don't know exactly how they do it. Maybe it's Ayton he's going to play 40 plus minutes, and the minutes where he's not on the court, maybe line those up with the minutes Giannis isn't out on the court, so at least it's not Giannis going up against Cam Johnson, which is just, it doesn't work for the Suns. Apart from that, I don't know, maybe it's going for a lineup with 4 of their wings, maybe all of Cam Johnson, Bridges, Crowder, and Torrey Craig are on the court with, let's say, Devin Booker, and that's the lineup without Ayton. And you have a lot of switchability defensively, and you could try that. I'd say that's more likely working without Giannis on the court, and maybe even without Brook Lopez on the court too. But I don't know what the exact answer is, but they definitely need to survive without Ayton. After that, I think one thing they could do is trying to get back on defense better in transition. I know it's tough for them because a lot of their sets have 2 players in the corner, but when the Bucks are getting easy buckets in transition, it's just too easy for them. And I think the Bucks aren't a great half-court offense. They do rely a lot on Middleton and Jrue Holiday to make tough shots, and sometimes they do make them, and there's not too much the Suns can do about that. But when they're getting easy baskets in transition, that's certainly not helping the Suns. So maybe trying to get back in transition a bit more and just limit the Bucks' transition opportunities. Because, yeah, as I mentioned, obviously Jrue Holiday and Chris Middleton's shot making is going to play a huge role in Game 6. Because if they're hitting their mid-rangers and getting to the rim and playing well, then it's just going to be tough for the Suns. But if they're not making them, then I think the Suns have a lot better chance, or if only one of them is playing well. So I think the Suns need to get back in transition and make the Bucks beat them in the half court. I think that's pretty important for the Suns. If there's anything else defensively, transition, Ayton, I'd say those are the 2 big ones. Maybe trying to force a few more turnovers with smart doubles, though Giannis has been very, very good at playmaking, but maybe it's coming off of PJ Tucker a little bit more, or coming off of Brook Lopez a little bit more to bring help against Giannis, especially when Ayton's not out there. But even when Ayton is out there, if Giannis gets good position, it's accepting that you might have to give up a semi-contested 3 against PJ Tucker to try and limit Giannis getting an easy post hook in the paint. So a bit more help against Giannis could definitely be beneficial for the Suns. And just trying to take advantage of the Bucks putting out players like Jeff Teague and PJ Tucker who really can't do much offensively, and trying to shrink the floor and just make it tougher for Giannis and Holiday and Middleton to do what they do offensively. I'd say those are some things the Suns can do defensively, and I'd say that's the big adjustment. And then offensively, I mean, my only problem with their offense is it's terrible when Devin Booker's not out there, and it's tough to solve that, because obviously you can play Booker a lot of minutes, but they did in Game 5, as did they play Ayton a lot of minutes, and yet in whatever minutes Booker wasn't out there, they were just getting killed. They just couldn't score offensively. Obviously, probably the most realistic thing with Booker out is just to have Cam Payne and Chris Paul in there, as well as whoever else can give you some juice offensively, whether it's Bridges or Crowder, Ayton. Maybe they try a few Ayton post-ups. I mean, they don't like going to that much, but I know. But maybe if it's Chris Paul, pick and roll with Ayton, and if the Bucks are switching, or if Ayton can get a step on whoever is defending him, maybe it's trying to throw it into Ayton and getting him easy baskets inside, or even to the free throw line, because I think the Suns, especially when Booker isn't there, need to try and get to the rim a little bit more and put more pressure on the Milwaukee defense. And hey, maybe that results in some foul trouble for a Buck, whether it would be probably Giannis. Though Giannis is pretty good at not fouling, but I think they need to apply more pressure on the rim, especially when Booker isn't out there. Because when Booker is out there, I think they can just about get by with Booker's shot making, and then whatever else they have, whether it's the Bridges and Crowder threes or the Chris Paul mid-range. I think they can just about survive. Maybe some other stuff on offense. I think they need a few more threes. In Game 5, they shot it really well from 3, but they didn't take too many. So maybe that's some more off-ball, though the Bucks have, throughout this series, gotten better at defending the Suns off-ball. But maybe it's some more direct stuff where it's not on the weak side, it's on the strong side, and Booker's getting a double pin down or something. And maybe it just Crowder and Bridges having a little bit more off-ball movement. Instead of standing in the corner, they flare up to the wing to try and get an open three. Just a little bit more movement. I feel like their offense has gotten a little bit stale just watching Booker and Chris Paul isolate. So a little bit more movement, a little bit more shooting, and then a little bit more rim pressure without Booker out there, I think, are probably the keys offensively. And then they need to get a good game from Chris Paul and Booker, and they need to get a bad game from Holiday and Middleton. I'm not even mentioning Giannis, because Giannis isn't going to have a bad game. He's going to get to the rim. He's going to have his 30 and 14 with 5 assists and whatever, and that's just sort of the inevitable at this point. But yeah, if I do a prediction for Game 6, I still think the Bucks are going to win. I think their defense, they figured it out, and then offensively, hopefully they don't play Jeff Teague. Hopefully, I think they just have that extra gear when they go with the Giannis at center, with guys like Holiday and Middleton out there, and then maybe it's Connaughton, maybe it's Portis, maybe it's Tucker. I just think the Bucks have a little bit too much, and I think they figured it out. But should be a good game, Game 6. The Suns' last chance, the Bucks' chance to win it at home. Yeah. But anyways, thanks for watching this video, guys. Leave a like, subscribe to this channel for more NBA content, and I'll see you guys next time.